Most leaders think their teams lose trust when the decisions are wrong. That's not what usually happens. Teams lose trust when decisions are rushed. Not because the decision was bad, but because it felt reactive. And under pressure, speed looks like confidence to the leader. Yet to the team, it most often looks like panic. Welcome back. Here's what most leaders miss. Teams don't evaluate decisions purely on outcomes. They evaluate them on process. They ask themselves things like, was this decision considered? Or was there space to think? And finally, maybe even, did they feel grounded or rushed? You see, when leaders rush, teams conclude one thing and pause the video after this to ponder this for a moment, even if it's a brief moment. If they're moving this fast, something must be wrong. That's what they think. I'll repeat it. If they're moving this fast, something must be wrong. Pause and think about this. Reflect on what you did in the past. Cool. You're back? Great. Trust doesn't disappear because leaders move quickly. It disappears because leaders move urgently. So let's find out. You see that research shows that urgency changes the nervous system of the team. It narrows focus and it increases fear of mistakes. It reduces ownership, and all this leads to poor results, which is something nobody wants. Even highly capable team becomes cautious under rushed leadership. And why do you ask? Well, because urgency signals threat, not direction. So when leaders rush decisions, teams subconsciously hear there's no margin for error, or that message shuts down initiative. And when initiative disappears, trust follows right out the door. So let's dive into some solutions. The core framework, 3 decision signals that actually erode trust. Signal number 1, deciding too quickly after new information. Trusted leaders pause, even briefly, when new information arrives. Rushed leaders decide immediately to relieve the internal pressure. Think about this. If you're rushed to relieve the internal pressure, that's a bad signal. Can you relate? Because that relief comes at a cost. Teams interpret instant decision as avoidance of complexity, not as mastery of it. And things start derailing. Signal number 2, absolute language under pressure. Statements like, we don't have time to debate this, or this is the only option, or we must move now. You see, these statements, as you felt when I said them, reduce trust and increase stress. Not because they're wrong, but because they remove the psychological safety your team needs to feel. Trusted leaders frame urgency without finality. They create movement without fear, and that restores trust very rapidly. Signal number 3, no visible decision process. Teams must and trust decisions they can feel were thought through. Even when leaders decide alone, trust increases when leaders briefly articulate what was considered, what was ruled out, and why this path was chosen. Because silence creates doubt, and clarity builds trust. Now you understand even more the crucial role that actually I play to assist top CEOs to vent and articulate in private so they can conquer in public. Now for some integration. Actionable assignment. The trust pause. Very cool tool. Is a simple discipline you can apply immediately. Before finalizing any high-impact decision, pause and ask, am I deciding from clarity or from urgency? If urgency is present, delay by one meeting, or delay by one night, delay by one reflective pause. That pause doesn't slow leadership, it protects trust, the trust of the whole team. You see, teams don't expect leaders to be perfect. Nobody is. They expect leaders to be considered. Trust isn't lost when decisions are hard. It's lost when decisions feel rushed. So I work with CEOs and top executives through confidential conversation that sharpens their clarity, strategy, and leadership presence. I promise progress. If this resonates with you, you know where to find me. So this is the second video of the trilogy. Talk to you soon.